Chapter 5. Getting Antsy. Ants! Nancy hissed. She, Bess, and George peered inside the container. It was filled with ants, about a dozen of them. Gross, Bess hissed. Close the lid, quick! She reached out to shut the container. Instead, she knocked the container out of George's hand. It fell on the floor with a clank, spilling the creepy crawly ants onto the floor. An army of ants crawled straight towards Team Lollipop's feet just as they were being interviewed by Gordon Whimsy. "And here's a team that's hard to lick. Team Lollipop," Gordon announced. "Kids, what will be in your picnic basket today?" "Ants!" Andrea screamed. "Pardon me?" Gordon asked. "I've got ants crawling up my leg," Andrea shouted. "And I've got ants up my pants," Ben cried. The girls crawled out from under the table before the rest of the ants could crawl all over them. "Nancy, Bess, George," Andrea cried, shaking her leg. "What are you doing here?" Nancy was about to explain when Ellen, the director, charged out of the control room. "I said cut!" Ellen cried. "I want to know how those ants got into this studio." Nancy knew they had to tell the truth. "They were in a box marked top secret," Nancy explained. "George opened it while we were hiding under the table." "Why were you hiding under the table?" Ellen asked. "We're detectives," Nancy explained. "Somebody stole a recipe for pink strawberry lemonade and you thought it was us," Ben demanded as he slapped his pant leg silly. "Not anymore," Bess said. She pointed to the ingredients on Team Lollipop's table. "There are no strawberries on the table at all, and you're using sugar instead of—" This time Bess clapped her own hand over her mouth before she could say honey. Nancy studied the ingredients on Team Lollipop's table. Bess was right. No strawberries, no honey. Team Lollipop couldn't be making Hannah's recipe without those. "Excuse me?" Buggy said. "But we can start collecting my ants, please." Everyone turned to stare at Buggy. "Your ants?" Gordon demanded. "Why on earth did you bring ants to a cooking show?" "Because we're making a picnic basket," Buggy replied. "And what's a picnic without ants?" "Give me a break," Andrea groaned. "Thanks a lot, Bug Boy." Ben snapped at Buggy. "You just lost the contest for Team Lollipop." "Well, that explains how the ants got in here," Ellen said. She looked straight at Nancy, Bess, and George. "Now, why don't you girls tell me how you got in here?" Before Nancy, Bess, or George could speak, Gordon pointed to the girls' hats. "Does that say Louise Fane Catering?" Gordon exclaimed. "I worked there right after cooking school. Louise is my mom," George said. "And my aunt," Bess added with a smile. "Brilliant," Gordon exclaimed. "I loved working for Louise Fane." He turned to Ellen and said, "These girls mean no harm. It was that Buggy boy who brought those ants here." "Sorry," Buggy said with a shrug. "I told my mom I'd rather be in the bug club." A boy in a team, Pepperoni, raised his hand. Are we ever going to start this contest?" he asked. "Yeah," a girl on Team Popsicle said. "Or Quickie Quiso cheese dip is getting lumpy." Everyone listened as Ellen made an announcement. The contest would be taped the next morning when the studio was sure to be bug-free. "We're sorry that we caused trouble," Nancy admitted. "We just have to find those who stole our secret recipe." She turned to Team Lollipop and said, Definitely not you guys. Nancy dragged the picnic basket out from under the table. Before they could leave, Gordon invited all three girls to be on the show next summer. As Nancy, Bess, and George left the studio, they could hardly believe it. Us? On Ready, Set, Cook? Bess said excitedly. I can't wait until next year. What do you think we should make? Nancy asked. Anything but lemonade, George groaned. Nancy, Bess, and George pulled off their hats and aprons and stuffed them into the picnic basket. It was the same place where Nancy had packed the club book and pen. No ants inside the picnic basket, Nancy sighed with relief as she pulled out the clue book, and Team Lollipop is innocent.